So, Paradise wrapped up its second season a few weeks ago, and this show has become like the must-watch show in certain corners of the internet. It's kind of become like the quote-unquote water cooler show for a lot of regular folk, as far as I can tell, which means I've had a lot of people in my life who aren't really into TV like that ask me if it's worth their time, and I didn't really have an answer for them until now. Paradise is a fun show, like genuinely every sense of the word fun. But I don't really know if that also equals good. It's the kind of show that I would actively recommend, but only if you have someone to watch it with, probably. This thing is built for watch parties.
So, if you're with me, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna rip the flies right from underneath us.
This is popcorn television in its most literal sense. There's spectacle, there's twists, there's very attractive and charismatic people doing very heroic things all over the place, and there is nothing so deep or complicated that you'll miss anything important if your friend next to you won't shut the fuck up during the episode. And I say that endearingly. Not every show needs to depict the darkest hour of the soul or whatever. Not everything needs to be The Road. Sometimes you just want to sit on a couch and watch something fun with people you love, and Paradise absolutely delivers on that. But I can't help but feel like there is something missing that's holding this show back from its streaming era contemporaries. But before we really dig into all that, this is your first and only spoiler warning for the video. I won't be spoiling anything too major here, but to really talk about the things that bothered me, I do have to spoil a few plot points. So, since this show is best experienced completely cold, if you haven't started it yet, maybe bookmark this and come back when you're done.
Our guy is gone and she's smack in the middle of the whole thing.
She's pretty much the most powerful person down here.
Yeah. And I'm gonna take her down.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
With all of that said, I personally think a lot of the people online or at work or in your life screaming at you to watch Paradise are confusing "I had fun" with "this is incredible storytelling." Paradise is kind of an odd duck of a show because it's simultaneously incredibly cliche and formulaic while also containing M. Night levels of twists and turns along the way. On a micro level, the character interactions, dialogues, individual scenes all play things extremely safe. Every character behaves exactly how you'd expect their TV archetype to behave, and nobody ever really ventures outside of their lane. The monologues all land where you think they'll land. The emotional beats hit you exactly where you think they will hit you. This thing is full of classic tropes. It's got the chosen one trope, your missing love interest trope, it's got multiple classic MacGuffins, and it's got that whole science fiction questionable utopia thing as the foundation this entire show is built on. It's well executed TV comfort food. But on a macro level, this show is fucking insane, man. Paradise routinely takes massive swings with its plot. A show that starts with a pretty basic who killed the president mystery somehow evolves over 16 breezy episodes into a mystery box time travel post-apocalyptic action thriller. The premise expands so far out that if you watched the finale of season 2 and then went back to watch the pilot, you would not believe that this is the same show. There is almost never an episode that doesn't push the story forward in some major way, which is a huge part of why I think it's so popular. It never slows down long enough for you to clock the plot holes or the narrative inconsistencies. Something insane just happened. We gotta keep it rolling.
I'm okay. I'm okay. Oh.
The cast definitely carries a lot of that momentum on their shoulders. Sterling K. Brown is the obvious standout. The man could make reading Palantir terms and conditions feel cinematic. He is the reason to watch. He has all the leading man energy, and he is carrying this show completely. He's a big reason of why people watch and feel so invested. Julianne Nicholson is also excellent as well, playing the damaged and dangerous billionaire called Sinatra. She's on the shortlist for the most backstory and character development out of the entire cast, and James Marsden is also doing a fantastic job. I haven't really seen him in anything special since Westworld, and his performance here made me really excited to see him put on the ruby glasses again in Avengers Doomsday. And now, obviously, not everyone in the cast is as good. There are a couple weaker performances throughout. Chris Marshall and Sarah Shahi stand out just a little bit, but honestly, I'm not really sure that's on them. The writing for some of these characters isn't exactly doing them any favors. Like, you can only really elevate things so much when your character is basically a walking trope, and it's only an excuse to move Sterling K. Brown forward. Honestly, the best way I can describe this show is that it feels like it came out 15 years too late. It has the exact same energy of a 22-episode NBC flagship series from 2012 trying to be the next Lost, except it has a streaming era budget and nobody to stop them from saying fuck.
7:15 mile easy pace. Not bad. You keep that up and you may just lose them titties.
You mean these beefy pecs?
I don't know, man. They look like some big old titties to me.
And look, outside of the swearing, this thing is so safe. It is your basic cable action drama with attractive people in nice clothes performing soapy dialogue and being fundamentally decent to each other. It is way closer in DNA to a CW show than a prestige Game of Thrones HBO streaming drama. And weirdly, that gives it a almost nostalgic quality that kind of works in its favor for me. There's a momentum and excitement to it that honestly reminded me of how Lost or Heroes felt when they were airing in their time. Paradise really excels at capturing that weekly, oh my god, what just happened energy. This is definitely a show meant for your dad. Like, if your dad isn't already watching Paradise, turn off his World War II documentary and start binging this with him. I promise you, he will love it. I'm trying to think of like comparisons, and the best one I can think of is kind of like, imagine if a show like Fringe or The X-Files cut out all the filler procedural case of the week episodes in their 22 episode season and just aired the big narrative episodes back to back, cutting it down to like 8 or 10. That's Paradise. And I really want to make it abundantly clear that I am not saying any of this as a critique. It's more of an endearing quirk to the show that just happens to come along with the territory for this style of show. The primary critique I do have of Paradise is that for a supposedly TVMA rated show set in a post-nuclear apocalypse, it has like zero teeth. This might be the nicest apocalypse ever put on screen. This show is shockingly, almost impressively tame. The world has supposedly been destroyed, humanity is on the brink of extinction, and yet people can stay hunkered down in one building for years on end without ever needing to leave for food or water. The survivors our characters encounter are almost always kind and unbelievably well adjusted. Everyone is wearing designer clothes without a single stain, all the vehicles still work, and there's like zero debris on the roads. The buildings are all still standing. It's insane. And while this only really applies for season 2, the show depicts these massive, all-encompassing tornadoes and tsunamis and electrical storms passing through, and then the next day it's sunny and safe for our characters to traverse through. We quite literally don't ever see a single, like, even tree fall over. Like, I'm racking my brain to try and think of like a completely destroyed city they walk through, and they just don't. We just had some really bad storms roll through where I live, and it looks worse outside my window as I record this than what it did in season 2 of Paradise on screen. Xavier Collins is just out here casually strolling through rural America in the cleanest white shirt you have ever seen in your life, not being fucked with by anyone at all. And look, I get it. Depicting a world truly destroyed by an environmental apocalypse is expensive. The costuming, the weathering, the set designs, all of that costs an insane amount of money. And it also makes everything significantly more depressing and harder to plot your way through. That's just not what this show really is. You can't have a globe-trotting action mystery box thriller and have your characters getting diarrhea and dying on the side of the road. I completely understand the need to compromise somewhere, but the compromise that they chose is too safe and too comfortable sometimes for my taste. I don't really feel like the stakes the characters are constantly talking about is matched by what we actually see on screen, which creates a dissonance that's especially apparent in season 2. Outside of 1 or 2 scenes, the outside world is mostly a mystery in season 1, and the show doesn't really have the budget to put the entire show out there in season 2, and they never really live up to the image that they create in your head. Even something like Supernatural, a show that had lofty narrative weight but never really the budget to live up to it, and looked like it was filmed in a Walmart parking lot in its later seasons, tried harder to make their apocalypse feel more dangerous than this. This might genuinely be the best post-apocalypse to be a character in like television history. Like, for example, in the early episodes of season 2, there's this seemingly raider-type biker gang of people that show up and break into our character Annie's bunker at Graceland, but they end up just being chill, sexy scientist dudes, actually. Like, everyone's fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Maybe fuck a few of them. And outside of this being like the nicest world ever, filled with the nicest people ever throughout the first 2 seasons, you're bound to find a few kind of annoying things in every episode. A big one for me is that every episode has to end with an acoustic cover of a famous classic rock song. It drives me insane. It was cool one time in the pilot, but by the end of season 2, it became so annoying and trite and overly dramatic that it was making me laugh.
It's the final countdown.
Like, why does someone have to be softly singing the final countdown to me right now? We're in the finale. Who asked for this? I can't truly explain why it bugs me as much as it did, but it just did. So maybe that'll vary for you. You might like it. Whatever, it's just kind of a personal gripe that I had. The CGI that gets showcased, however, is legitimately excellent. It is so good for TV standards. It is photorealistic and impressive in scale. It might be the only place outside of the massive sets where the streaming budget is truly being used to its full potential. And also, I'm so sorry for this, but actress Chris Marshall looks exactly like the YouTuber KSI, especially in season 2 with her new haircut. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it, and at least for me, it became pretty distracting. If the sidemen ever need a stand-in, I've got a casting suggestion. So overall, is Paradise worth the hype? Here's where I land. Paradise is a competently made, genuinely fun action sci-fi thriller that knows exactly what it is. It's fast, it's breezy, it's built for casual viewers, and for the most part, it absolutely delivers on that pitch. Sterling K. Brown is the primary draw. He is the reason to watch. He is such a great actor and character, and his character is always just mogging everyone he shares a screen with. The twists are fun, the ride is entertaining, but it isn't prestige television. It is not breaking new ground. This show is not some deep character drama, and the action is serviceable and fun, but it's nothing that's like truly groundbreaking, even though it pretends to be sometimes. You'll get entire episodes dedicated to flashbacks and backstories and emotional setup in the past, but in the present timeline, nobody is really dealing with anything that emotionally complicated. This isn't The Pit. There aren't any really interesting moral dilemmas. There's no really tough philosophical questions. There's none of that what a real person would do in a situation type stuff. This is not a grounded post-apocalyptic character study. It's Sterling K. Brown walking into a room, kicking names and taking ass, and then we cut to the next plot twist. There's a hint of some anti-billionaire, anti-capitalism stuff in season 1, and then season 2 kind of drops all that entirely in favor for bigger and bigger spectacle. Paradise, for the most part, is about the ride, not really about the people. It's closer to 24 or Under the Dome, if anybody remembers that show, than it is to like The Last of Us. At least for me, the post-apocalyptic stuff mostly falls flat. The characters don't get the moral complexity that premise demands, and the hype, which has gotten genuinely enormous from what I can tell, may be setting up new viewers for a little bit of disappointment when season 3 rolls around. The best episode in the entire series by a pretty wide margin is season 1, episode 7, titled The Day, and if the rest of the show operated at that level, we would be having a much different conversation. But it doesn't, and that's okay. Watch it with your friends, turn your brain off, grab a drink, have some fun. Just go in with the right expectations. This is not the next great American drama. It's an entertaining weekend binge, and honestly right now, there's a lot worse stuff out there that you could be consuming. But that's everything I've got on Paradise so far. So please leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree, and also leave a like on the video. If you enjoy what I do here, it really helps let YouTube know it needs to show my videos to more wonderful people like you. And finally, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more entertainment-related videos. Until next time, bye.